The latest revelation in The Bold and the Beautiful is a devastating twist that brings new levels of danger and intrigue to the Forrester and Spencer families. With Luna on the loose, revealing her uncanny resemblance to Sheila, everyone is at risk. The intensity of this threat is felt not only by Lee and Steffy, who have warned Finn to stay far away from Luna, but also by Finn himself, who, despite the warnings, seems to be drawn into a dangerous web of emotions and family connections that could have deadly consequences. Luna, the estranged daughter of Sheila, has been lurking in the shadows, and her presence is already stirring up chaos. Although she carries the same dark and manipulative traits as her infamous mother, Finn, despite everything he knows, cannot turn his back on her. There's a strange draw he feels toward her, a part of him that wants to believe she is different, or at least that she deserves a chance. Lee, ever the protective mother, and Steffy, her fierce ally, have both pleaded with Finn to cut ties with Luna before she can cause any more harm. But Finn's emotional connection to Luna, the pull of blood, of family, clouds his judgment, leading him to make a choice that will put his life and the lives of those he loves in grave danger. Despite the grave risks, Luna will exploit Finn's vulnerability, using her charm and desperation to manipulate him into letting her into his life. She is skilled at playing on his emotions, spinning a web of lies and promises that make her seem harmless. Her plea for a second chance is one that Finn cannot ignore, and soon he finds himself making a fatal mistake, allowing Luna into his life and, inevitably, into his family's. But allowing Luna to enter their lives is not just a mistake, it's a perilous decision that opens the door to unimaginable danger. Lee, sensing the deepening threat, does everything in her power to protect Finn, Steffy, and the rest of her family from Luna's wrath. She is constantly on guard, watching for signs that Luna will lash out and preparing to defend her family from the growing menace. Yet despite all of Lee's efforts, Luna's presence in their lives continues to grow, and she quickly proves that she is every bit as dangerous as Sheila, if not more so. The inevitable confrontation between Luna and Steffy finally erupts when Luna, desperate for connection, shows up at Steffy's home, refusing to leave until Steffy accepts her involvement in Finn's life. Steffy, who has been steadfast in her belief that Luna is nothing but trouble, is not about to let her waltz into their lives without a fight. She stands her ground, demanding that Luna leave immediately, but Luna is unrelenting. Tensions rise as the two women face off in a brutal battle of wills, each determined to get what she wants. In an explosive confrontation, Steffy tries to force Luna out of her home. The fight is intense, with Steffy physically trying to push Luna out, but Luna refuses to back down. The standoff becomes increasingly violent, with both women throwing objects at each other in a desperate attempt to assert control. Steffy, now frantic and desperate, grabs a knife, pointing it at Luna and threatening to call the police if she doesn't leave. But Luna is unafraid. Her eyes burn with a cold determination, and she stands her ground, refusing to be intimidated by Steffy's threats. In the heat of the confrontation, the struggle between them escalates to a dangerous level. Both women, fueled by anger and desperation, begin hurling objects at each other with reckless abandon. The scene turns chaotic, with furniture and vases being thrown across the room in a blur of motion. It's clear that this is no longer just a disagreement, it's a fight for survival. But the situation takes a tragic turn when, in the heat of the struggle, a vase is hurled and strikes Steffy in the head, knocking her unconscious. Blood begins to pour from her head as she collapses to the ground, and the chaos that has unfolded in the Forrester home becomes a moment of sheer horror. Luna, realizing what has happened, quickly grabs her phone and calls for emergency help. She is frantic, her voice trembling as she explains the situation to the operator. The irony of the situation is Stark Luna has caused the very injury she swore she would never inflict. But in her panic, there's no time for regrets, only the rush to get Steffy to the hospital. Luna, driven by guilt but also the need to protect herself, accompanies Steffy to the hospital, hoping that the severity of Steffy's injuries won't be as bad as they seem. When Finn arrives at the hospital, he is met with the terrifying sight of Steffy lying unconscious, her head wrapped in bandages, blood staining the sheets. The realization hits him like a ton of bricks. Luna has put his family in danger, and now Steffy's life hangs in the balance. But Finn, ever the protector, focuses all his energy on Steffy's survival. His feelings of guilt and confusion over Luna's role in the incident are pushed aside for the moment, as his only concern becomes Steffy's condition. The doctors work frantically to stabilize Steffy, but the situation is dire. As Finn watches helplessly, he begins to wonder, could Steffy lose her memory? Will she slip into a deep coma from which she may never wake? The uncertainty of Steffy's fate leaves Finn in a state of emotional turmoil. He cannot help but feel that his decision to allow Luna into their lives has set off a chain of events that led to this moment, and the weight of that guilt crushes him. He is trapped between his loyalty to his daughter and his love for Steffy, unable to see a way out of the tangled mess he has created. Meanwhile, Luna, having caused the injury, continues to swear to Finn that it was all an accident, that she never meant for Steffy to be hurt. But Finn, though torn, cannot ignore the reality of what has happened. He must focus on Steffy's survival first, even as he grapples with the consequences of Luna's actions. The tension between Finn and Luna reaches a breaking point as Finn begins to distance himself from her, unsure of whether he can ever forgive her for the damage she has caused. As the days pass, Steffy's condition remains precarious. Her recovery is slow, and doctors are unable to say with certainty whether she will regain her full memory or if she will emerge from the coma at all. Finn, consumed by worry and guilt, struggles with his conflicting emotions. He feels the weight of his mistakes pressing down on him, knowing that Luna's presence in their lives has put everything he holds dear in jeopardy. At the same time, he faces the reality that Steffy may never be the same again. If she does survive, will she be the same woman he fell in love with? Or will the trauma of this incident leave permanent scars on her psyche? Luna, meanwhile, continues to weave her web, trying to secure a place in Finn's life. She has no intention of backing down now. As Finn focuses on Steffy, Luna quietly works to manipulate the situation in her favor. She knows that if she can win Finn's heart, she will have everything she wants. But with Steffy's life hanging in the balance, the stakes are higher than ever. Will Finn be able to escape the dangerous hold Luna has on him, or will he be forced to choose between his past and his future? The consequences of this violent confrontation will echo throughout the lives of everyone involved. Steffy's fate hangs in the balance, and Finn must navigate the treacherous waters of guilt, love, and family as he tries to repair the damage caused by Luna's actions. The Forrester family will never be the same again, and the question remains, will they survive the storm that Luna has unleashed? Or will the damage be too great to repair? Only time will tell. In the latest twist of The Bold and the Beautiful, the stakes for Hope's emotional life have never been higher. As the dynamics between Carter, Deacon, and Liam become even more complicated, the tension between the characters escalates to a boiling point. Each of them is trying to navigate their feelings, their relationships, and the complicated web of family and love that entangles them, while discovering truths that could change everything. At Brooke's house, Carter is determined to make his feelings known. His desire to be with Hope, despite the deep emotional history she shares with Liam, is undeniable. He approaches Hope with sincerity, begging her for a second chance to make their relationship work. His words are heartfelt, but the situation is made even more complicated by the arrival of Deacon, Hope's father, who is immediately unsettled by Carter's presence. Deacon, ever the protective father, does not want to see his daughter hurt again, especially after the emotional roller coaster she has already been through. He steps in, making his disapproval known, and warns Carter not to overstep his bounds. Despite Deacon's objections, Carter insists that he respects Hope's wishes and doesn't want to disrespect her father. He emphasizes that his desire for a future with her is genuine and that he will not back down, even in the face of opposition. Hope, caught in the middle of a conflict between the two men in her life, tries to keep the peace. She tells Deacon that while she appreciates his concern, she is an adult and can make her own decisions. She assures him that no one, not even her father, can dictate who she sees or how she feels. Despite the tension, Carter eventually leaves, but not before making a promise to Hope that he will not give up on their future, no matter how difficult the road may be. As Carter exits, Deacon continues to express his frustrations with the situation. He remains steadfast in his belief that Hope deserves better and that Carter might not be the man for her. Hope, however, listens patiently. She understands that her father's intentions come from a place of love and protection, but she also knows that she needs to follow her heart. Their conversation is interrupted when Liam enters, his arrival cutting the tension short. Deacon, sensing that the conversation is now over, leaves with a final parting remark to Hope. He tells her that the happiness she seeks may be closer than she thinks, but it's clear that the father and daughter are worlds apart on what that happiness should look like. Later, at Forrester Creations, the drama continues. The atmosphere at the office is thick with anticipation as Elektra and will share a quiet conversation. They discuss the complicated dynamics of the company, and their discussion turns to Carter. Elektra mentions that Carter could have been with Hope, but now he's working with Daphne, which causes a ripple of tension. Daphne Rose, another member of the team, overhears and quickly interjects, clearly eager to speak with Carter. She seeks him out, determined to make her own feelings known, but as the situation unfolds, Carter enters the scene just in time to overhear Daphne's words. Daphne, with her characteristic confidence, pushes Carter to give her another chance. She makes it clear that she still has strong feelings for him and is more than willing to pick up where they left off. Carter, however, is resolute. He no longer has any interest in pursuing anything with Daphne. He tells her firmly that it's over and demands that she leave him alone. But Daphne, unwilling to accept rejection, refuses to leave, trying to reason with him. The tension in the room builds as Carter's patience runs thin. He warns Daphne that if she doesn't leave, things could escalate, and he won't hesitate to take further action. When she remains defiant, Carter's temper flares, and in a moment of intense frustration, he threatens to physically remove her if she doesn't respect his wishes. The heated exchange leaves everyone in the room uneasy, and Daphne, sensing that Carter means business, finally backs down and leaves. Meanwhile, back at home, Hope continues to struggle with her feelings for both Liam and Carter. The emotional turmoil is becoming unbearable as she reflects on her past with Liam and the deep love they once shared. As she talks with Liam, she opens up about her feelings for their daughter Beth and the joy they both take in watching her grow. It's a tender moment, but Liam can tell that something is weighing on Hope's mind. He begins to pace, deep in thought, and the self-doubt that has been creeping into his mind comes to the surface. He begins to question whether he has made the right choices in his life, particularly regarding his relationship with Hope. He admits to himself that he hasn't always been the best partner, but deep down, he still loves her and wants to make things right. Hope, sensing that something is off, gently probes Liam, trying to understand what he's going through. She realizes that he is struggling with his own emotions, but before she can press him further, Liam begins to remember a conversation with Steffy. In this memory, Steffy had urged him to be honest with Hope about his true feelings, to tell her the whole truth before it was too late. The memory shakes Liam, and he becomes more agitated, realizing that he might have been hiding something important from Hope all along. Hope notices the change in his demeanor, and the unease grows. Something is wrong, and she can sense it, but Liam remains evasive, unwilling to confront whatever it is that's bothering him. Back at Forrester Creations, the conversation continues to unfold between Electra and Will. They have their own concerns about the dynamics at work, but for now, their attention is focused on Carter's recent behavior. Electra wonders aloud whether Hope is fully aware of how Daphne still feels about Carter. Will, however, is less concerned with Daphne's feelings and more interested in the potential for something more with Electra. He leans in for a kiss, a moment of tension that only adds to the complicated emotions swirling in the office. In the midst of all this, Carter finds himself caught in a whirlwind of conflicting emotions. On one hand, there is Hope, the woman he has longed for and still hopes to build a future with. On the other, there is Daphne, who refuses to let go and insists on making things complicated for him. Carter knows that if he doesn't make a clear decision soon, he will lose both Hope and his peace of mind. But the pressures of the office and his personal life are starting to weigh heavily on him, and he realizes that he is being pulled in many different directions. Back at the Logan house, the tensions reach a boiling point once again. As Hope reflects on her conversations with Liam and Carter, she begins to understand just how much she is caught between two worlds, one filled with the memories of her past with Liam, and the other with the uncertain future that Carter represents. Her feelings for both men are undeniable, but she knows that she can't keep living in limbo. She must make a choice, and soon. The question now is whether she can live with the consequences of that choice. As the drama intensifies and the stakes get higher, Hope's future and the future of those around her hangs in the balance. The battles between family loyalty, romantic desire, and personal ambition are only just beginning, and the consequences of every decision made in these tangled relationships will shape the lives of the Forrester, Logan, and Spencer families in ways they can't even imagine. With hearts breaking, emotions flaring, and secrets threatening to be exposed, The Bold and the Beautiful continues to deliver thrilling drama that keeps viewers on the edge of their seats. What will Hope choose, and how will it impact those she loves most? Only time will tell, but one thing is for sure, the road ahead will be anything but easy.